This video will take you through using the calendar functionality. This is only available if you purchase the calendar version of our thermostat. So to begin, we select calendar, one of the tabs along the top. And this will bring you to your calendar of events. At the moment, this is empty because we haven't added anything. So let's go and do that now. On this drop down here, if we select calendar setup, we can then see the area where we enter the calendar stuff. So to begin with, we need the iCal URL, which is the calendar URL in a sort of machine readable format. This is provided by Airbnb, Booking.com, or your channel manager. Where you find it, you need to check with them, look in their help files. It should be fairly straightforward. In this example, we are going to be using Google Calendar. So I've got one preloaded here. So we'll just create an event for tomorrow. So 7:30 till 1:30, and I'll just save that in the Google Calendar. But now I'm going to go and get the iCal URL, which I mentioned earlier, and this is within their settings. So I'm just going to grab this. And then if we return to here, paste the URL in here. So it should end with .ics. We'll then save this. And this will now port the calendar into our system. And if we go back to the calendar, we'll see we now have some events, which is the one we created, 7:30 till 1:30, which doubles up with this one here. So at the moment, it will switch to off at 7:30 and off at 1:30, which is obviously not ideal. So let's go back to the calendar setup, and we'll look at the heating settings. This is essentially what we wanted to do at the beginning and the end of the calendar event. So the obvious thing is to switch it to auto or manual or boost. In this example, we'll use auto, and then for it to go off at the end. So we'll just save that change we made. And if we go back to the calendar, we can now see it switches to auto at 7:30 and then off at 1:30. Now, the calendar you get from your booking system may vary from what times you want the heating to come on. It may not have times in there, it may just have days, or there may be the timings may not quite be appropriate. So let's say we wanted to come on earlier than the booking. We can add an offset. And here, if I put it for a 1 hour offset at the start and then save, rather than being 7:30, it will now come on at 6:30. So now at 6:30 as opposed to the booking, which is 7:30. The other we can do here is we can override the times in the calendar. So let's say we want to specify our own things because it's always different. So say the check-in is always at 3 o'clock and the checkout, the guests always leave by 10, for instance. I don't need that offset this time. And we'll override the calendar, the times in the calendar. So then if we then save that, if we now go into the calendar again, we can see it now. Starts at 3 and ends at 10. Obviously that's not ideal. What I've done there is the calendar event is only on one day. So really this would be, for it to be more of a representative booking, I need to change the dates on it. So let's go and do that now. If I change this the end date to the 28th, then save that. If I go back in here, it won't have updated straight away. It will resync once an hour. But if you speed it up, you can go back to the calendar setup and you can just reload the calendar data. And once that's done, if you go back to the calendar, you'll see the new updated data. So now we have switched to auto at 3 o'clock on the Friday and switched to off at 10 o'clock on the 28th, so Tuesday the 28th. Settings you may wish to look at is the event settings at the bottom. Now, this is where you can put in an actual, you can further fine tune the events. So in this example, you may have a read of this, but you may want to set the temperature thermostat goes to. So this one will set the temperature to 22.5 degrees. This will be at the start of a booking. If you want it at the end of a booking, you can use that one. So let's just copy all of these for now. And these just go into the calendar booking itself, so into the summary or the description. So if we just add it into the description, so we're going to override the function so it goes to manual. Let's put the temperature at 25. Profile B would automatically switch profiles. I'm not going to do that. That's not very rarely is that necessary. It's an unrealistic example. Again, with this, if it's set to off, the end temperature wouldn't really have any meaning because it's off. So, and then it'd be following a frost temperature, which wouldn't be a temperature to change. So for this example, I'm going to set it to manual when you, at the beginning of a booking at 25 degrees, that's too hot. Let's put it at 22 degrees. And then at the end, it will switch to auto and it will set the temperature to 15. So if we now save that, and again, back into the calendar, again, it would, if it's left, it would update it, but we'll just click the reload button. And now if we return back to the calendar, we'll see it now switches to manual at 3 o'clock at 22 degrees, and then it switches to auto at 10 o'clock at 15 degrees. These event settings only apply to certain thermostat types. It's not applicable to light units and some of the older thermostats, but you'll find it on all of our Ignite range. And that's pretty much the calendar.